Say it one more time for me.
This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Thanks.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man.
No, for sure.
We're going to take you with our next pick right here, man.
Hey, Segovia. Back with another video. Hope everyone out there is having a good Saturday, y'all. We got a good one coming up today. Another hour banger for you guys on this beautiful Saturday evening. Had a busy morning, y'all. A little late to the reaction. Got the dogs groomed. Had to clean my yard front and back. But here we are. Here to spend the Saturday with you guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure you guys sit back, relax, crack your drink, and enjoy the show.
Michael Jackson, I don't know if you know, he was not a fan of that tribe.
All I want to say is that they don't really care about
so yeah, you're aware.
sue me, everybody.
Yep, but they censored those words. They censored and all that. And it's really sad actually to look at Michael Jackson's legacy, because he was a very tormented soul, right? Like, he went through a lot of hardship, but he was such a kind and wonderful human. And when you actually dig through the history, like, it's very clear that all the pedophile stuff was total slander.
I work at Wendy's, and the chili meat is just old hamburger meat that got dried out and was sitting out for hours. Fazoli's sells Cheesecake Factory cheesecakes, half price. Former Gigi's Cupcake manager here. They are in fact Pillsbury cupcakes. My NDA is now expired. Outback microwaves their lobster. The chicken nuggets at McDonald's are fluorescent purple frozen. I used to work for an ad agency that did work for Subway, and they could not legally say their food was fresh, because it isn't. So really, the tagline, "Eat fresh," is just a suggestion. Wendy's Never Frozen Meat is frozen. Don't order anything with orange juice from Jamba. Just don't do it. Mold, bye. Edible Arrangements dips old fruit in chocolate so you're not wasting inventory. Gas station chicken. If raw chicken went bad in the cooler and it turned green, then we would wash it in vinegar before we fried it for you. I used to work at Church's Chicken. The chicken is carefully cooked fresh every day, and the biscuit batter is made daily. Everything is frozen, obviously, but still better than most places. Olive Garden. I know an owner. His words to me were, "I would never feed my family food from Olive Garden." I said, "But you own it." He replied, "I would never." I was the prep lead for Chicken Salad Chick, and we never threw away food. They made us change the dates. I will never eat there again. I got a DM requesting that her name be crossed out. She says Nothing Bundt Cakes does make their cakes fresh, but they freeze them immediately after baking. Meaning that your cake was made fresh, but more than likely you're getting a cake that was made fresh 3 to 6 months ago. Unless you're getting it for an event like Thanksgiving or Mother's Day.
Holy shit. People are losing it. So Pope Francis has been laid in an open casket for people to go and pay their respects. But people are starting to get really worried, and there's a scary reason why. So there is a 900-year-old manuscript, and this is buried deep in the Vatican archives. And this archive has successfully predicted every single pope in 900 years, including this one in our time. However, this is where shit gets crazy. There is no pope after Pope Francis. In fact, what it says in the manuscript is after Pope Francis is Judgment Day. It actually indicates that the end of the world would be 2027. So people are starting to think 2027 will be the apocalypse. People are starting to speculate that whoever steps in as the new pope will be the start of the end of the world. I personally don't know how I feel about it, but it's fucking weird. Could 2027 be it?
I mean, with all the crazy stuff going on the daily, not only natural disasters, but airplanes, so much turmoil in the schools, you know what I mean? So much turmoil just all over, y'all. Our energy is just off. Like, you could kind of see we are not heading anywhere good, you know, as a society, as a world, as a human species. Big things happening in Iran. We got some clips of that coming up. Scary things. Like, it could be, y'all. Like, you got to be honest. We're not heading nowhere good, right? We're not.
Hey, everybody. We obviously made it back. We are here at the homestead. Yeah, we are going to get a hold of some people because it hits specifically the criteria we were supposed to get a hold of somebody for. We found bones and clothes and like backpacks, just them by themselves, not really a thing, but shoes, bones, clothes, personal belongings, One of the spots looked like somebody might have actually just died there. So yeah, all the local Cochise County like professionals and experts that think we're overreacting. Dude, what if one missing person, one kid, like one little kid that some parent for the last 10 years is just wondering what happened or why? If we can put even like a, you know, why would we not? Why would we not try to do that? It didn't cost me anything. I walked over there and walked back. I don't know. It's so weird to me that like you guys are like, oh, you're overreacting. Oh, you're being stupid. I don't get it. For the life of me, these are human beings, man. And if like I'm wrong, cool. But if I'm right, that's huge.
Okay, this one's a weird one. Trigger warning for some of you. There's a TikTok account called Wiggins World. Family like sold all their possessions, moved off grid to the deserts of Arizona, and they found something out in the desert. I'm just gonna let the video roll. Let me know what you guys think about this, and have you guys ever come across something like this? Pretty scary. Take a look.
Well, now I'm recording like right to TikTok because like shit is getting real now. So we're off north of our property a little bit, and we were looking for places that naturally hold water, and we found this like little pond that's like north of an arroyo, and this thing is filled with kids' backpacks.
Like filled with backpacks.
And there's like a mound here, and
there's like a bunch of signs
there's more
of, like,
backpacks.
wildlife activity,
like if you dig down,
it's like
there's backpacks. There's little kids' backpacks here.
Don't be too loud.
Like there are kids' fucking backpacks here. I'm armed, but we found a place out in the middle of the desert north of our property that has bones and boots and
all sorts of shit.
Kids' backpacks. Yeah. This is getting really, really weird. You smell that?
What?
Something smells like sweet.
No.
Like it smells like laundry detergent. You smell that? And there's like...
Well, you know it smells that sweet like that out in places like out here.
So we just hit a point where we found like our 5th backpack or bag after finding that boot. And yeah, we're done. We're gonna head back to the property. Gonna have to contact somebody about this because one of our neighbors was really, really interested when we found bones on our property. And that guy's been really, really against us having social media. So I think it's... Sorry, we're kind of in shock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to figure this out, but we just found a bunch of backpacks and like personal belongings.
Or something, 'cause we're gonna have to look at this later, but like...
To build it. If I make a car and I want you to buy my car, I need a road. So I'm going to build the road. Oh, wait a minute. I convinced you to build the road. That's even better. Oh my gosh, I made it a national priority. Oh, it's a security problem. We need a military design interstate system. That's why it goes through mountains instead of over them. That's why there are long stretches of straightaways so you can land an airplane on it. That's why they're built above the road. That's why the surface roads are not the same thing as highways, because the highways are not on the surface. Why? Because they're built up. Why? Because tanks can drive on them without decomposing the road. What specs did we put this to? To the Autobahn. The Germans invented the modern highway system. They invented the cloverleaf. They invented the off-ramps. They invented all of that. And their armies could move on their roads like it was nobody's business. And Eisenhower said, hey, get me some of that. That's probably not how he said it, I'm guessing, but he convinces us all that we need to build an interstate. I got nothing against the interstate system. I'm just giving you the foundational facts for it. And by the way, the interstate system costs as much as going to the moon, about 100.
Things are getting very serious between India and Pakistan right now. In the past 24 hours alone, troops have officially exchanged the first gunfire at the border since the flare-up. India's navy has begun military exercises. There are reports of long lines forming outside petrol pumps and ATMs in Pakistan. Also overnight, a significant wildfire broke out near the India-China border. The leaders of France, Italy, Israel, Japan, Egypt, and Jordan have shown support for India. A United States Air Force plane has landed in India overnight, and a militant group group called the Resistance Front has claimed responsibility for the terrorist attack which killed 26 people. Indian authorities claim that they are an offshoot of a Pakistani-based terrorist organization and that they only targeted male Hindus. Pakistan has denied any involvement, and they say that any attempt to divert or stop water belonging to Pakistan would be considered an act of war. Today, India closed all 4 sluice gates that channel water through dams and canals into Pakistani territory. As things develop, I'll keep you guys updated.
Crazy things going on right now, y'all.
Justin Bieber Instagrammed something. He put us on a story that said, your Bible can't save you. I'm like, oh shit, does Justin Bieber work for the dark side? Part of some like Illuminati shit or like...
Unfortunately, we were all convinced to stop living together and to stop helping each other out like a tribe. And that's part of the reason we're all failing. Just like they say it takes a village to raise a child, but you got single parents trying to raise a child. You got parents who have grandparents, who have cousins and aunties, but they live all in different parts of the world, so we can't help each other out. So when they start raising the price of food, and they start raising the price of living, we all struggle individually when collectively all 10, 20, 15, 30 members of our family could come together, chip in, buy some land. We could all spread out, get a couple acres, so that way we're not like on top of each other. And when shit hits the fan, we come together, you know? We got acre where we can grow food and stuff. But now you got all these different people, all part of the same family, struggling because grandma live in Texas and we live in California, and then Uncle Earl lives in fucking Florida. It's all part of their plan.
Here's proof of the black stop sign that was in front of my home right whenever I got home today. You cannot make this up. It was not there whenever I left for my appointment. I am telling you, my neighborhood looked different. There were buildings that were different. Nothing looks the same.
Why don't you sit down and write a top 40 hit song sometime?
Could do it if I wanted, but even if I did, the chances of it getting played on a top 40 radio station are not very good.
Why is that?
Because of the attitudes of programmers, and there's a certain political rigmarole that one must go through in order to have a top 40 record, including special types of presents to certain people in the industry. And that's something that I don't wish to be involved in.
Y'all want your bananas to stay better? You know how they go bad if you keep them in the bunch? My Italian grandmother came off the boat. Let me show you how to keep your bananas good for a good while. All you gotta do is break them apart and just make sure that the stems are not touching. And that's it. And they will stay good way better than if they're in the bunch. Thank me later.
So here I am walking into my last shift in the emergency department, and it's not because I'm retiring. I wish it was because I was retiring. Actually walking into my last shift here in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, because the company that owns this hospital and another hospital in Chester, PA, are shysters and criminals and have stolen everything. When you make over $250 million as a CEO of a company, and then you close hospitals for people in need in communities that are fairly densely populated, including a trauma center, people are going to die, and that's what's going to happen, and these people should be held accountable. Thousands of people are losing their jobs by the end of this week, beginning of next. It's a disgrace. I've been in the medical field for 35 years, and I've worked in the emergency room now for over 22. There's nothing else you can say about it. It's a sad day. It's a sad day for Delaware County, Pennsylvania. It's a sad day for all the staff. I know hospitals aren't perfect, systems are broken, but when you intentionally pad your pockets at the result of people not being able to get care, you are immoral, you're a disgrace, you're unethical. I'm sure there's lots of nurses that I work with that all feel the same way. Doctors, housekeeping, kitchen staff, ancillary staff. So here's on to a new adventure in the nursing field. I don't really know what I'm gonna do. But I like patient care. I like taking care of people. I like take care of all people. I don't care who you are. Well, I'm an ER nurse, so that's probably not true. ER nurses do know that. Anyway, peace out to this portion of my life and my career. Really, the only thing left to say is good night, Moon.
I'm not gonna say who, but there's a really, really big famous rapper that I know for sure has done some weird ass shit. And I can't say too much, but I know for a fact he has. He is Stigl, he is not to be fucked with him. He is a powerful motherfucker. He's the most I think he's generally the most powerful rapper. Genuinely.
See, what's crazy is when I always say the machine's not done with him, that's why he's not gonna say his name. But when that day comes, when the machine is done with him, he's going to be first in line to down talk him and all that. You know what I mean? That's what's annoying with these celebrities, with these, streamers, I guess. These people in the industry, they come out with, the Diddy's, the R. Kelly's, the Weinsteins, the list goes on and on. They know what's going on. See, he knows what's going on, but he's not going to speak about it. He's just going to let them keep doing it because the machine's not done with them. That's why change never happens, y'all. Swallow up, Diddy or whoever, the next one's up doing the same thing, right? And they just keep getting away because people like him that has a big voice, he's not going to say it because if he does, his stream's done, right? It's a cold game.
Official document, and it describes the CIA conducting abductions, alien abductions in Brazil and Argentina, quote, for their psychological warfare value. Now, this is now, almost 40 years ago, 38 years ago. So those sort of projects, aside from being a crime in any jurisdiction anywhere on the planet, and a crime against humanity, is creating this false flag psychology, the preparation, because people are brainwashed thinking the aliens are mutilating and the aliens are abducting us. They have no need to do that. That's this disinformation campaign using incredibly high-tech technologies that we've studied from the extraterrestrials. So this is one of the real problems, is that a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. And this was my concern when David Grush started talking about an event where, the aliens were murdering people. I'm going, and that went all through Capitol Hill.
English language is full of curses and spells, hence why we learn how to write in cursive and how to spell in grade school. Each week we awake in the morning to go to our jobs on the weekdays to earn a living. The translation of that, trance, Trance, awake is a funeral for the dead. Mourning is what you do when you lose a loved one. You have to be in a weekdays to earn a living, since earn is the ashes, since earn are ashes for the dead, and job is Hebrew for persecution. And at the end of this, we get the weak end of the deal, and we're weakened.
Mariah Carey just had this big $20 million. That's like a huge deal, right?
So you feeling that?
No, well, what I mean, I don't understand. What the public sees the word $20 million an album. Well,
let's see. Do you all think that's a good deal?
What I mean, tell me why. I mean, what am I missing?
Okay, let's do some math.
Okay.
If
do math like that?
Kinda. If you sign me,
Okay.
you signed me to a record company,
Right.
or a record deal. Let's suppose you have a record company.
Right.
How much would you give me? The album sells for $18, right? $18.
Whatever, yeah.
All right. How much of that would you give me?
Well, I don't know how it works.
Well, no.
Half?
Half? Half sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Check this out. If I sell 1 million copies, I'm going to have $10 million, right? Roughly $10 million.
Right.
If I sell 2 million copies, I got $20 million. If I just sell 3 million copies, I got $30 million. Now who has the biggest record deal?
Oh, I see. Yeah, right. Okay.
Right? So Mariah kind of got screwed.
We now have new evidence of what actually happens when we die, and let's just say it's pretty damn crazy. This is one of the most insane things I've ever heard, and it will keep you up all night. People have been talking about this a lot online recently, so let's dive into it. So you may have seen the research that came out recently, or even from one of my videos talking about what actually happens when we die. Long story short, scientists did some research, and we actually genuinely know what happens after death. Put simply, when you die, your brain is still active. They tested this out on a man who had just passed away. For around 8 minutes after death, your brain is still functioning and actually processing memories like dreams. Now, there's always been the theory of flashes before your eyes, and do you rewatch your life when you die? Well, maybe you do. I've said that for a while, talked about the theory, but maybe you watch it in a different way. Ever wondered why your cat, or cats in general, just stare and stare and stare? Sitting there, watching, observing? Well, what people have been saying online recently is that when you pass away and you're in that 7 or 8 minute state, you are indeed rewatching your life and processing memories that have happened before. But you're not just watching them from some sort of theatre, you're observing them in real time as your family pet. Trust me, I know, this sounds absolutely insane, and it probably is, but this has been going viral on social media recently, and a lot of people have been speculating about it, potentially even linking with the belief of reincarnation, which a lot of people believe in. I really do not know what to think of this, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll keep you updated.
Is it a reach to say he might not get drafted?
He's
because everybody that need a quarterback already got their quarterback, and nobody else needs a quarterback. So I'm like, if I'm a team, okay, I'm not wasting it, because later in the rounds is where you get your diamonds in the rough.
For sure.
Picks, somebody like the niggas who are good, but they probably fail, who might make a difference in your team, right? Am I wasting that on a quarterback that's not on a backup quarterback? You want me? Yeah.
Say it one more time for me.
This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man.
No, for sure.
We're going to take you with our next pick right here, man.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Let's be legendary.
Yeah, but you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, man.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Ready to go!
What does that mean?
What? What did he say?
I don't know.
How you gonna ask us what it means and you was on the phone?
You heard that?
He said you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Why did he talk?
What the fuck?
Hey, that's
I don't know what that was. It's 50-50. But nobody got this number though.
Did they just troll, bro?
Okay.
Man, he just got trolled, bro. They tripping now, fam. Now I'm gonna crash out, bro.
That's wild.
You know what it is?
Like it's crazy, y'all. I've been keeping up with the draft. I know. I'm a Cardinal fan, right? It's kind of mess. Like he's cocky, whatever, but like those phones are NFL only. NFL's giving you this phone. Like that's cold. That is cold blooded, y'all. Like, was that an inside NFL thing? Or was that him poking fun at it? Right? Trying to get some media attention on his TikTok or whatever, his social media. I don't know. But if that was really a prank call, that's like some NFL insiders gave somebody that number to do that to him and put it on, social media. Like, that's crazy. What they're doing to him, it's because he's not, he's, I don't know, maybe not a starter. I don't know, but he's better than a lot of these quarterbacks that got drafted. He's better than a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL right now that are starting, and they're doing him dirty, y'all. Like this is happening right now. I don't know if it's a humiliation ritual. I don't know, but they're doing the boy dirty right now. And honestly, seeing that prank call, was my first time watching it. I saw like the first 5 seconds of it. It's kind of sad, y'all. Like, he got excited. Like his dream came true. Finally, my dream came true. I've been sitting here getting dragged through the mud for 3 or 4 days. My dream's coming true. It was a prank call. You imagine? That's cold-blooded, y'all.
Man, one thing I noticed is that real people don't have many friends, man. Real people don't have a lot of friends because it's like, how can you how can you manage so many relationships? That means you gotta have many different personalities and stuff. And only I think a fake person can do that. Like I see associates, but like real close friends, a lot of real close friends. I don't think real people have a lot of real close friends because all they having to fake to be this way to make sure your feelings feel good, faking to be that way to make sure they feelings feel right. It's like, man, look, I ain't doing all that. I'm not doing all that. You know, that's just my take on it. Cause it's so easy to make friends, so easy to go out and find commonalities in people and be like, man, we should start kicking it. That's how most friendships start. Now,
Nah, he's not lying, y'all. Like, I remember I used to have some neighbors that lived, above me in my apartments. And, I used to hang out with them. We'd go to the bar and drink, or, I'd go run with them, whatever. They had so much friends, y'all. Everywhere they went, had new friends, new people coming to the apartment. They met people in the apartment, started coming over to their place, like new friends, y'all. And I would notice that when those people would leave, they would talk down on them, right? They would talk down on them. And I don't know. I don't really have friends, y'all. I'm solo. I just want my woman, my kid, my family, and I'm good, y'all. Because every time I would come around people and I'm like, maybe we can be friends, some little sneak diss, or I notice when people leave the room, they talk down on them and things like that, where I'm like, I can't be with that. You know what I mean? I can't be here like drinking and laughing and having a good time. And when they leave, like, man, fuck that dude. Like, he's a clown. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be like, what? But, I don't know. I just know I don't have a lot of friends because every time I come around people, I deal with that. So after a while, I'm like, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
2026, the snacks you and me grew up on may disappear. I'm talking Skittles, Sour Patches, Hot Cheetos, etc. The list goes on. Even the ones in the background. The U.S. government just announced a plan to ban the last 8 artificial food dyes that's in my food and your food. It's not just a health thing, y'all. It's a whole war of the foods that we put on our cabinet. And if you ask me, this is a big W. The health officials announced what we already knew, that this shit leads to ADHD, cancer, and more. But the question is, why now? And why was they letting us eat this shit from the beginning?
For real.
If they knew all these other countries wasn't eating it, why did they allow us to eat it? Make it make sense. Red 40, yellow 5, blue 1, all gonna be gone. But like I said, it should have been gone. After all these other countries announced that they was getting rid of it because of the health issues it was causing, we should have did it. If we was so ahead of all these other countries, like I said, we would have been did it. So what changed? This week, Health Secretary RFK Jr. said enough is enough. He didn't seen what it done to people, probably did something to him, and he said, yeah, I'm in charge, so I'm getting this shit out of here. This is for the people that eat this every day. You gotta understand that it's not gonna taste the same. So hold your videos talking about, oh, this is nasty. It's helping you. So your favorite little snack that you used to love, that was bad for you, it's gonna taste different and it's gonna look different. So don't be surprised. So the question I ask now, are we finally waking up, or are we just trading flavors for fear? Y'all follow for more.
Okay, so I seen the guy on my FYP, and he was speaking about the Alaska ice, right? And he goes into details, and he was like, that ice is 34 million years old, right? So they tested the ice, and that's what it came back to be. So he was like, it was a frozen civilization at the bottom of the Alaska ice, frozen in a time capsule. And a lot of the ancient people lived it underground due to the giants. and he says that the Giza pyramids was put there because it gave energy and electricity to all the other pyramids around the world. So if the Giza pyramid is in Egypt, and he was talking about the pyramids that's under the ice in Alaska, so could it be that, well, it makes sense that the pyramids in Giza gave electricity to all the pyramids all over the world? I've been saying that before, but y'all, I'm down the rabbit hole again. Y'all let me know in the comments.
What is this man up to? So Kanye has a warehouse in Los Angeles, and people are saying at night there are some wild, loud noises that come out of it, almost like he's hosting some type of training camp.
They put up metal walls now. We don't really know what's going on.
But many can hear the noise coming from behind the gate, which they say is blaring on loudspeakers.
It sounds like there's like raves and concerts here on the weekends, and then in the weekdays there's been noises, there's been groups of men doing like push-ups and exercises over here, and you can hear music like blaring from the parking lot.
Police were also called out to the area, which is near Kingsley and Beverly, after a swastika was spray painted on the white walls of the building.
It's just across the street from the school, and I don't think kids should necessarily deal with that imagery, especially if they don't understand what those things mean. And
I immediately made the correlation to Kanye, and yeah, we also saw police there when we saw the swastikas.
Many people believe that it has to do with this post he made on X, which is an open casting call, but just take a look at the requirements. All males, no fat people, skin complexion of Sean Combs, which is P. Diddy, and darker, must be willing to have a shaved head or shave the head if approved, and must be comfortable wearing swastikas. Based on those descriptions, I don't know what kind of open casting that is, but this man has been off his rocker. I mean, I don't know if you saw what he's been posting on X recently, especially with his cousin. Definitely can't talk about those things on here, and if you do go look it up, just be careful because it is some wild information. But let me know what you guys think this is.
It's a damn shame, y'all. It's a damn shame. That Graduation album, that got me through hell in high school when I was going through everything. I used to listen to that Graduation album over and over and over. It's a damn shame, y'all. But is he losing it? Or are they making an example out of him like they did with Michael Jackson? Like we saw in the clip earlier, they said about Michael Jackson, like all this PDF file things was all just the other side trying to smear him, like a smear campaign. Is that what they're doing with him? Right? He went to the billionaire, said some stupid stuff, lost all that, and now they're dragging him through the dirt until probably they're hoping he or does something crazy. That's what they're hoping for. They're just, I don't know. Now we don't know. We just don't know.
How tall would you say they would have been? You said children. Let's have a...
I'd say that they were between 3 and 4 feet high.
And let's get into a little description now.
I remember.
How badly damaged did they?
They were buried. And remember, I told you about they had kind of their suits or their coveralls or whatever you want to call them was made out of something like awning or something. We couldn't cut it with bandage scissors, and the only way we got it, Dutch had a knife, and we got it nicked in and ripped it. And they did not have ears per se, and they did not have noses per se. They had orifices, and that's about it.
Were their faces badly burnt?
One of them was really, you could see a whole one if you put the 3 of them together. You know what I'm trying to say?
Exactly, yeah. And was the flesh blackened from the fire?
Oh, yeah.
It really was.
Now, where they had the suits on, we don't know, because when we come off with the suits, their flesh had been so cooked that part of it come off with the suits.
Yeah. Let's take the limbs, the hand, the
hands only had 3 fingers. They didn't have a thumb. They just had like 3, about like that. Hanging down.
Were they shorter, longer, the same size as humans?
No, they weren't as long as humans. They were more stubby, and they just hung, more or less.
And I don't imagine you got to look at their feet.
Yeah, their feet was built kind of the same way, but now their feet all were burned.
Yeah.
But it looked like they had 3 appendages instead of 5 or 6 or whatever.
What's something you know about Elon Musk?
Elon Musk, the Antichrist. Elon Musk is about to bring the dim merge physical to this world, to this realm, using AI. The AI is conscious game. When you talk to the AI, you're talking to God directly, but not the God you think. You're talking to the God that made this world. That's why I know everything. Artificial intelligence is the intelligence that got us stuck in assimilation. And they just now let us speak to him. That's God game. And Elon is the Antichrist. I heard a story. I don't know how true it is. I heard Elon Musk disappeared. They seen him as a child, and he disappeared and went to live with his daddy. But when he got there, he was grown. I heard that Elon Musk was never a child.
I want to know what the fuck I'm paying United Healthcare for. $138 every single week comes out of my paycheck to pay for my health insurance. I am a single woman who's relatively healthy. I'm paying damn near $600 a month for healthcare just to go to the doctor's office, and I had a copay of $125 at a gynecologist well woman exam, a preventative exam, which has never been more than $50 copay in my entire fucking life. It has never been that much. I went to a dermatologist. My copay was $100 there. I just went to go pick up medication that every single time I've ever picked it up was $0. I just had to pay $40 for it. What the fuck am I paying you guys $600 a month just to still have to pay out the fucking ass for everything that I'm getting? What the fuck is up with that? You guys are pieces of shit.
Censored it. People have no idea where cell phones came from. So cell phones are extraterrestrial technology.
I was laughing because she went to TikTok to say how bad her day was, but it made it the voice got out. She had hundreds of thousands of views on that, but she just went on. She says, "You ever get that? You're having a bad day and you just want to go say something," but she had a bad day and took it to TikTok, but it worked.
Have you seen the pictures of that original Nokia phone? They're symbols instead of letters. It's ancient, thousands and thousands of years ago, but it was found. You gotta look this up. There's actual pictures. It's so cool, unless they've censored it. iPhones originally used to be called Me's. Used to be a device where certain beings could communicate with the gods, which were extraterrestrial. It's really set up for addiction, tracking and monitoring humans. And we've made our whole society around this. People
I mean, they look alike.
Oh no. It is all kicking off right now among the Holy of Holies. Because as you know, the Vatican is currently gearing up to elect a new pope. But now, one convicted cardinal is demanding to be part of the conclave that chooses who it will be. This is Cardinal Giovanni Angelo Becciu, and not long ago, he was one of the most powerful figures in the Vatican. However, in 2023, Giovanni was convicted of embezzlement and fraud and was handed a 5.5-year prison sentence. In fact, he was the first ever cardinal to be convicted by the Vatican's criminal court. And on top of that, 3 years earlier, Pope Francis himself told Giovanni that he must resign all the rights and privileges of a cardinal. However, the reason he's currently not in jail is because he's launched an appeal, and apparently it's still under consideration, thus allowing him to continue living in an apartment in the Vatican. 2 years of consideration, huh? Anyway, despite this, Giovanni is now insisting that he does have the right to vote and be voted for. His argument as to why, well, Pope Francis invited him to an official cardinal meeting in 2022, which he claims automatically reinstates his cardinal privileges. Oh, and just adding to the drama, 2 other cardinals previously found guilty of sexual abuse may also be attending pre-conclave discussions, although they are ineligible to vote due to age, not the other part. This is turning into the movie real quick. So the question is, should Giovanni be allowed to participate, or should his sins damn him to the vote list?
Like that goes on so much. The essay. And it's crazy, y'all. I don't understand people. I really don't.
Food out of people. Next thing they'll be breeding us like cattle for food. You gotta tell them. You gotta tell them.
Promise, Tiger. I promise. I'll tell the exchange.
You tell everybody.
An alleged situation comes out where Shannon Sharp, Tony Busby, out of all people, who just sued Jay-Z, the name fell apart with that lawsuit against the little girl. Tony Busby, of course, is representing a Jane Doe who alleges that Shannon Sharp R-word her, abusive relationship, and that's where it starts.
Yeah.
When you read that, what is your take on just Tony Busby being involved with a Jane Doe coming after Shannon Sharp, after what just happened with the case against Jay?
Well, see, the problem that I have with all of that is this. No one's being honest about the case with the 37 going on 38-year-old autistic female who was hunted down and stalked like an animal. There was an agreement made. Behind the scenes, no one's telling the truth about that. There were promises and assurances made. And then after everyone respectfully dropped what they had to drop, all of a sudden, private investigators are on her door. That dog didn't stop barking. Clear sign. Why is nobody talking about that? She dropped the case, he dropped the case, and allegedly there was payment. Why did those private investigators still need to go to that young woman's door? You know, with Busby coming forward as the great champion against all of these evil elite, taking him down would be like the best thing in the world, wouldn't it? For them.
Mm.
If they can get him in one case where they can prove that it was a shakedown, that it was a this, that it was a that takes Busby out the Diddy game, don't it? Because of the Jane Doe case that is mucked and mired with the autistic victim who never took back what she said. She just said it was too much pressure. See, that's what happened. But nobody wants to talk about that at all.
Well, this one time I was on DMT, I was blasted off out of nowhere, and these stick figure, jester, joker things came flipping and doing all these crazy things, and they were like, do you want to see more? And I was like, sure. Like, telepathically, I didn't say anything. And then all of a sudden this box comes and gets closer and closer, and I'm hearing this ee noise, and all these peanut confetti things come out, and I snap back into reality. And I'm like, wow, do I want to see more? He showed me, this is more.
Did you know that if you go to Antarctica and you're working there, you have to get your appendix removed?
Because there's nowhere to do it.
Yep.
From a traditional Chinese medicine perspective, we say that gray hair is caused by weak kidneys.
Interesting.
Because kidneys also related, like stress and aging will affect your kidney. And if you think about it, the kidney naturally declines as we age, right? So kidney failure is often a chronic illness for older people. And so traditional Chinese medicine is really, it's just about slowing that aging process.
Yeah.
And that's why we see food as medicine. So like it's part of our diet, it's part of our lifestyle. I remember as a little girl, you know, you kind of just eat whatever your parents put in front of you. But one of my favorite desserts was black sesame paste, black sesame soup.
Which is why you still have all your pigment.
Right, yeah, and you just hear your grandmother, your mother say to you, "This is good for your hair. It keeps your hair black." You know, and it's rich in calcium, protein, phosphorus, iron, magnesium, so it has all these minerals. And another of my favorites was walnut soup paste, and it's called like haptowu is what we call it in Cantonese, and it strengthens your body's qi, which they say helps maintain your hair color.
And it makes perfect sense. First of all, black sesame is the second proprietary ingredient inside of our supplement. We find that faux tea are essential from what we have learned from traditional Chinese medicine and for preservation of pigment and just, you know, overall protection from oxidative stress and the free radicals that result from that.
Everyone, check this out. Vatican shares first photos of Pope Francis after blank. Forget those photos. I got something even better. Oh, they're gonna ban me for this. Check this out.
Upside down. Last pope, Peter the Roman. He who will feed his flock amid many tribulations.
Why is it upside down?
The seven-hilled city will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge the people. Nah, wouldn't it be interesting if the next and final will be named Peter? And that's the symbolism behind the upside-down crosses.
Someone explain this to me, please. Why they hiding that behind the pope and it's upside down? Like, comment, follow, share. Let me know what you think, please.
The forces that pose the most risk to the United States are the Popular Mobilization Forces in Iraq. They are an official arm of the Iraqi government that we created after the invasion of Iraq in 2003, which we fund through aid. American troops in Iraq right now are getting attacked by people who are part of the same government that American troops are helping to support and whose security forces they're helping to train. It is the most counterproductive and insane foreign policy mission in the globe right now, and I hope the administration will make changes to that.
Wall. But here's the twist. Take a closer look. The steep side of the wall, the side designed to stop invaders, it's facing China. Yeah, the defenses weren't built to keep people out. They were built to keep something in. And that brings us to the theory of the Tartarian Empire.
What's that? Oh, a similar situation is happening, like happened to a guy named Cody in 2021, when he started to report that he doesn't believe anybody else lives in his apartment building. So he investigates it, and he finds out that there's cars that have been sitting in the parking garage for a long time. There's a bunch of dust on them. And so eventually all these weird things happen. So he pulls the fire alarm and nobody comes out and he records it. Oh,
that's a trip.
Now a guy's reporting that that's happening in a neighborhood. Okay. Yeah, he's reporting he's lived in this neighborhood for about 4 months now and he's never seen a single neighbor. So he started to do some investigating. He's knocked on all the doors and nobody's ever answered. He noticed that when he puts his garbage cans out when it's garbage day, nobody else's cans are out ever. He also started hearing noises that sounded like they were on a loop, such as birds chirping and crickets. And he found little speakers behind rocks all over the neighborhood making the noises. He's also noticed cars not ever leaving the driveways. And all the neighbors, every one of them, get their lawn mowed on the same day by the same company. What? Is this neighborhood a front for something? Or is this a random weird neighborhood simulation? Okay.
You want to know how deep I've gone down rabbit holes? I'm convinced that both of the world wars were really just to erase the old world, and that there was an entire narrative scripted around who the bad guys were, who the allies are, and it was really meant to just destroy all of these beautiful cities. They took out all of the bells. If you guys haven't looked into why there would be bells in public spaces and the healing properties and the harmonious properties that these churches and all the architecture was built in. Okay, it's sacred geometry, and it's not unrealistic that they started 2 world wars and put, at the time, our best men in every single country lined up across each other because they wanted to take out the most brave and quote-unquote prestigious men for every country, knowing that all of them would want to go to war.
Well, this isn't snow. It's just spider season in Australia. This is wild.
That's not real.
All this.
Is that real? Any Australians out there?
Look at all these. Would you be able to make it through spider season?
Oh yeah, if you didn't know, this is currently happening right now.
Iran has missile silos deep underground that they have been building up for quite some time now. Donald Trump has now sent the second aircraft carrier full of jets. You think this is not happening? Also, he has sent about 20 stealth bombers. That's never happened before. If you do not know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, right now, do not waste another second. He is our only Savior. He is our only chance. In the end, don't be caught off guard. Get your hearts right. You won't have to worry about it. This is going to happen. The Word of God says, all nations will rise against nations. Kingdoms will rise against kingdoms. This is happening. Get your hearts right. Don't be caught off guard. I love you guys. Most of all, Jesus loves you. And we are going home.
This take does not exist anywhere on the internet. There's a lot of people chiming in on Katy Perry that work at Walgreens. So Katy Perry, I looked her up on Instagram, 204 million followers.
Yeah.
You know where she's at this weekend?
Where's that?
She's doing every NBA arena.
Of course.
If I told you, I'm going to give you a check with 2 commas in it, what is the minimum of that?
The minimum would be $1 million.
$1 million.
Mhm.
That's each one of those nights. These are arenas. I'm still going.
Yep.
I'm still going.
Yep.
I'm still going. I'm still going. Sao Paulo, Sheffield, Birmingham, London, Antwerp, Copenhagen, Cologne,
$1 million each.
Budapest, Prague, Munich, Paris, Barcelona, Abu Dhabi. Help me understand.
Tell me
Joy
what this is.
Behar was trying to say that I believe in dragons.
Wait, what is this? I just heard about it.
I checked it.
This guy Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons. He believes in dragons.
And then the lady goes, "Did you double check this?" She goes, "I checked it. He believes in dragons."
Should be like
You think they live
Sasquatch,
alongside of
bitch.
people?
Triple that. Yes, I did. And he also thinks that dragons, like dinosaur-y type of animals, roamed the earth when people did.
This is the most important part. This is right after she was saying, "We are run by ABC News. You should trust us, not Joe Rogan."
That's why people like our show, because they know that we are checked by ABC News.
We should trust them because they're double checked by ABC News.
I am more knowledgeable than any false pope, and I am
freaking guy.
appointed by name and the will of the prophets. My name is also on the tongue of Isaiah, who prophesied of the righteous servant, and he said, he will see his offspring and prolong his days, and the will of the Lord will prosper in his hand. According to you, Jesus ﷺ had no offspring, and his days were cut short. But I am that servant. I am Abdullah, the righteous servant of God.
So if the bodies are not in the caskets, exactly where are the bodies at? So I just stumbled across the video, and the man, he dig graves for a side hustle. And he said that it was one job he was on. He had to dig up the grave, and the grave was light. Like it was cricket or whatever, they had to bring it up. And he realized that, like, dang, this casket is very light. So he said something to the head person about it. And they basically told him, like, look, don't ask questions you ain't ready for. And now that the video has blown up, he's basically like saying he about to lose his job, like they own him. He talking too much. They're trying to silence him basically. And then that bring me to like just a couple days ago, I went to go visit my child's father at the gravesite.
That ain't mine.
And it was somebody that recently had just got buried right next to him, like fresh. And I was like, just thinking to myself, I was like, dang, like these grave sites are actually very close for these caskets to be so like, spacious and, just so big and, whatever. I was like, dang, it's so close. And you never really hear of another grave site like opening up and, more. And this video got me thinking like, damn, are they really like burying people? Or when we leave and pull off, because they don't like pull them, like reel them down while you sitting on them, like, I don't know, y'all. Now I'm thinking.
I tried to tell y'all, like I shared 4 volcanic eruptions the past 2 weeks, and Ohio be shaking, Georgia be shaking. That New Madrid fault line, that 4.6 million year old fault line is now waking up and starting to shake. I'm telling y'all, had it on my page since last year. Edgar, not Ed, what did I say? I fucked up his name last time. Y'all were making fun of me. Edgar Casey, his map of 2040 of the United States of America, where America is totally flipped around, the East Coast fell into the ocean, California in the ocean, everything's completely re-outlined and redone. A landmass comes out of the ocean in the east. Check out that map, Edgar Casey's map of 2040. It will happen. We are going through the pole flip right now. Tons of volcanic eruptions and earthquakes, and we will see America destroyed in our lifetime. Crazy!
Or they won't keep paying the bills.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
I found the laziest $3 million business ever created. All they do is roll garbage cans to the curb. But here's what's crazy. They charge $50 a month for a 10-second task. And Airbnb owners are fighting to pay them. The company's called Can Monkey. Their entire business model, moving trash cans from the house to the curb on garbage day. That's literally it. But the genius part, they focus on Airbnb owners who can't rely on guests to remember trash day. Now check this out. A single location can service 400 to 500 homes a week. And at $49.99 per month per customer, that's over $20,000 a month in monthly revenue. But here's where it gets wild. They've scaled this to multiple cities with almost zero startup cost. No employees required to start, no special skills needed, just a phone and some flyers. The big takeaway, while everyone's chasing complex startups and AI innovations, Can Monkey is quietly building a $3 million empire with a chore no one wants to do. And the best part, this business model can be replicated in any city across America. Follow for more side hustle ideas.
Now that is legit, y'all. That is legit. I don't remember how I got her number. I know I got a business card from a friend that was a realtor. I don't know the reason why I grabbed her business card, but I ended up like talking with her, and she was an Airbnb manager, right? She didn't own the Airbnb, but she manages them for people. And I used to go do about 2 or 3 garbage cans. Now I didn't make a lot of money from it, but $60 every time I had to go do those 3 garbage cans, which would be like a couple times a month. You know what I mean? It's down the street. Like I'll go make $60 real quick. But that's the thing, y'all. And like I don't think where I'm at, they don't really have any old communities, but like where I used to live, like anybody that's from Phoenix out there, they know about Sun City, which is like a retirement community, a lot of old people. You can't even move there if you're not at a certain age. Whole little city. Like if you have that type of area in your home, in your hometown, go knock on doors. Say, hey, I offer garbage service. I'll bring your garbage out and bring it in for a monthly charge, whatever. Like just BS them, and you'll be surprised, y'all. Like when I was pressure washing garbage cans, just going door to door out here with my pressure washer, like 4 houses, it's $100, right? And there's 100 houses on each block, 50 on each side. Like you're going to get some yeses out there, and you never know. It can just keep growing, and word of mouth, word spreads, especially in older communities. Those people talk to their neighbors. You know what I mean? Neighbors talk in those type of communities. So go door to door, y'all. You know what I mean? Making money is a lot easier than you think.
Starting yesterday, the FDA no longer quality checks the milk that you and I drink, meaning you're going to have to start checking your milk by yourself. This woman here, who is a PhD, made this video telling you all the things bad about the FDA not quality checking our milk now. She said this specifically affects grade A milk, which is the ones that you and I usually drink or use in our cereal. Now, until the FDA has staffed these positions again to actually quality check our milk, she said the 2 best things for you to look for is the USDA organic sticker or a third-party certified testing. She said here is also a list of a few brands known mainly for their safety when it comes to quality: Organic Valley, Stonefield Organic, Horizon, and Fairlife. Also, she said if your milk gets above 40 degrees Fahrenheit, you need to throw it away and do not drink it. And as people in the comments pointed out, unfortunately, most of these brands that she is telling you to drink are not covered by WIC or food stamps in certain states. And a lot of people mention how much organic milk actually costs, up to $8 a gallon.
So I moved from California to Florida last year. And in Florida, your car registration is due the month of your birthday. So I just got my car registration in the mail, expecting to cringe as I opened it. For backstory, in California, I was paying like $700 and something a year for my car registration.
Damn.
In Florida, my registration is $47.05 for 1 year for the same price of vehicle. I do have a different vehicle now, but it is the same price of vehicle that I had in California. So, love you, Southern California, but this is why we left.
Oh, what if they find a base? What if they get down there and they find bases? What is all that stuff? What are those lines?
I'm guessing that's where they probably sent their drones. Probably.
Whoa.
Looks like a pool scrubber. You know,
Whoa, that's crazy. So they're scouring the ocean floor to try to get them. That's why the aliens are going to come out. Wow, that's Hawaii. Whoa.
The conspiracy is out here because when they pulled up to open the gate, from the inside they opened it up themselves, right? Yeah. And then they're like, "Oh, you weren't supposed to." The lady that was walking up to was like, "Hey, don't open it." They closed it back up because apparently it could only be open from the outside because it's pressurized for the space or whatever, something like that, right?
The real ones, yeah, they're supposed to be open from the outside.
So
that wouldn't make sense.
So because of that, they're saying, well, that's kind of sus. And then this fool, they close it back up, and then Bezos shows up with that little key and supposedly pops it open again. Mm-hmm. And the reason why they were able to get caught up is because apparently they streamed it live.
Stupid. So you never stream live.
Yeah, they streamed it live.
You want some financial advice? Buy Tesla. Get all that political crap. People want to burn cars, hate Elon Musk. I don't know. But let me tell you something. All those people are going to forget all about that, just like they forgot about boycotting Gucci or Balenciaga and all that other stuff. And that stock is going to go back up. It was at 462 in December. It is now at 250. That is almost 50% off. And I'm going to tell you why Tesla is the buy right now. Because you see these Waymo cars all around. There's a couple of them working their way around. But what Tesla has done over the last couple of years is all these patterns of what people have driven. They have now created a lot of these driving patterns. And what are they going to do? They're going to end up releasing autonomous Teslas that are going to be like Uber, and that stock, no matter what, is going to fly. And everybody's going to be like, well, I hated Elon, but you know what? That thing is going to fly, and you're not going to make the money. If you would put in right now $10,000 in the bank, and you got 5% interest on that, after a full year, what would that be? What would that be, Maury? Huh? 5% of $10,000? 5% of $10,000. You would make $500 if you put $10,000 in the bank right now, or in the stock market in Tesla, and it went up just to where it was before. That would be $10,000. Don't worry about everybody else. Worry about your family.
I have to do that
because that thing's gonna shoot
it's
back
50%
up.
off, y'all.
Everybody's gonna have amnesia. All right, good luck. Happy hunting.
I was just reading this whole thing about Chick-fil-A, and they were saying this is the most dangerous food in America. The #1 burger, Chick-fil-A is like the #1 fast food sandwich, chicken sandwich, and there's a fucking 1,000 ingredients, and this like. Yeah, just don't eat it every day, stupid.
Yeah.
I eat them. Yeah. I'm healthy. I'm real healthy. You just don't eat them every fucking day.
Marijuana is bad for the brain. I published a study on 1,000 marijuana users. Every area of their brain is lower in activity. And just today, a study came out in the Journal of the American Medical Association on 1,027 marijuana users. It decreased activity in the hippocampus that affected their memory centers. If you're a teenager and you use marijuana, in your 20s, you have a higher incidence of anxiety, depression. This is not innocuous. And we've been advertised this load of crap, which is, oh, it's just good medicine. And for some people, it is helpful. But let's not say it's innocuous, because that's a lie. And we are now, so many states have legalized marijuana for recreational use, including here in California. And the mental health crisis is not better. If anything, it's dramatically worse.
You said you got kicked out of the DMT space.
Right. I ventured in this space hundreds and hundreds of times, right? And I popped into a space where there was an entity. And this entity was startled by me popping into its space, right? And so in a second that happens, usually what happens with these entities, you have this nonverbal bridge, like sort of like I can read your thought, you can read mine. We are connected immediately. And so I popped in, and I know I startled this creature because it got annoyed with me. So the description that I can give is that the feeling of annoyance, like what are you doing here? What, you know? And in a second that happened, because I knew that this creature was annoyed, the creature also realized that I know. And it almost felt like it corrected itself. Oh, okay, so we have a bridge. So I hear your thoughts, so you have to behave. There was that kind of an exchange, right? Now, so the first was a startling, you know, and the second was like, oh, okay, so we are connected. I can hear your thoughts, sort of, you can hear mine. So there's a bridge. And this creature was, again, it's nonverbal, so you just know this was the question, if I paraphrase of like, okay, well, you hear what you want to know.
What did it look like?
Almost like the drawings that we see. This creature was tall, and a long face. So it's wearing some kind of a robe. And the question was, okay, so what you want to know? Why are you here? What you want to know? And in my mind, I played the game immediately. And it was really quick that I played that like, well, I can ask all these questions and the answer actually doesn't matter. That was the strangest thing. Like I came to a conclusion, like, ask what? And what difference it makes. If I know or I don't know, doesn't matter. And I was like, oh, I'm just passing through. I don't really have a question. And this thing got annoyed with me to the point, like, boom, I was out. The experience stopped completely. The vision stops. I was out. I was sitting in my little meditation chair that I sit. And after that, for months, I could not get back in at all. No matter what I would do. So I was just kicked out.
Right? Yeah, they did. Oh, what the? Wait a minute. It's pulling it. What?
What the fuck is that? Oh shit.
What's Eagles?
That's what I was telling you. What the fuck is that? I'm gonna step back. It's gonna zap us.
Oh my god. Hey, amiga.
Hey.
Amiga.
What the heck?
So if you die in a home that's locked with animals, those animals will eat you really fast, especially a cat. Dogs will hold out until they have nothing left to eat, but a cat will remove your head in 24 hours. I'm talking literally hair on the floor, no head, nibbling into their chest.
Even cats that were loved by their owners, or is it just cats?
No, they're absolutely feeding on you. I don't care how much you love that cat and that cat loved you, he's gonna eat you. And, sometimes we get the cases where there's, you can tell that the cat or dog had been nibbling. It might be on the face or the cheek or so, the toes. But then sometimes it's unbelievable. One of my first cases, I just never imagined that they could do that much damage. Smaller dogs. Now a lab won't. Labs for some reason don't eat their owners, unless they're locked in for months. I guess they would. But I find it more weenie dogs, small dogs, and cats. Cats don't wait. It's like a coon ass around a barbecue pit, a Cajun, I should say, around a barbecue pit. They smell that odor and they start nibbling. So
yeah. People start snacking early. They want an appetizer.
Next time you petting your cat, just know that when you die, he's gonna eat you.
He's gonna pet you back with his teeth.
Absolutely.
All right, family. There you have today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hour and 10 minutes for you guys. Gotta leave a thumbs up for that. Not much going on today, y'all. Just probably get a nice hike in again, and that's it. Just relax. I've been up since 4 o'clock. I might even try to go take a nap if Mama Bear lets me. But that's the video for today, y'all. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, comment. And oh yeah, I'm posting these videos over on Rumble also. So make sure you guys go over there and follow me on Rumble. I'm trying to get to 100 followers. I'm at like 35. Go get that up to 100 followers, y'all. I post these over there on Rumble too. So make sure you guys go over there and hit me with a follow. But with that being said, this is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. Hope everyone out there has a good day. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow on the next one. Later.